You're doing everything wrong. 10 rules, Napoleon Hill. Do you know what the difference is between you and a millionaire? Not talent, not luck, not even money. Napoleon Hill discovered after interviewing the world's 504 richest people, it's organization. And what if I told you there's a code of 10 rules that, when applied in exact order, reorganizes your life in 30 days or less? In the next few minutes, you'll discover the 10 rules of lethal organization that have transformed beggars into magnates, bankrupts into billionaires, and ordinary people into living legends. This is the exact same system Andrew Carnegie used to control 90% of American steel, that Rockefeller applied to dominate world oil, and that Henry Ford implemented to revolutionize industry. It took Napoleon Hill 29 years to compile these rules. He realized that 100% of ultra-successful people followed the same sequence of organization. This is no coincidence. It's pure mathematics. When you organize your life by following these 10 rules in the right order, success isn't a possibility. It's a mathematical certainty. You'll discover why 97% of people organize their lives backwards and fail. Rule number 3 that multiplies results by 10x. How to organize your mind before your environment and why this changes everything. And the final rule that only 0.1% know and that seals your destiny for success. But first, let me tell you about Fernando, an app driver from Brasilia who applied the 10 rules and was earning $200,000 with his fleet in 6 months. Fernando, 38 years old, would wake up at 4:30 a.m. every day to start driving, 14 hours of driving per day. Net, at the end of the month, 2,800 reais. My life was complete chaos, he recounts. House in disorder, mind in disorder, bills in disorder. I worked like a slave but lived like a beggar. Until one morning, while waiting for a passenger, he found an audio about Napoleon Hill's 10 rules. When I heard the first rule, I almost turned it off. It seemed too simple, but something told me to continue. Rule number 1, mental before physical organization. Your external life is merely a reflection of your internal organization. Napoleon Hill. This is the rule that 99% ignore. Everyone wants to organize the house, office, agenda, but Napoleon Hill discovered, if your mind is chaotic, your life will be chaotic, no matter how many organizers you buy. Fernando started here. Every morning before turning on the app, he would do 5 minutes of mental cleaning, writing all chaotic thoughts on paper and organizing them into 3 columns: urgent, important, dispensable. On the first day, I filled 3 pages. My mind was a garbage dump. Dr. Jordan Peterson confirms, when you organize your thoughts, you literally reorganize your neural synapses. It's impossible to succeed with a disorganized brain. Rule number 2, crystal clear. Definition of objective. A person without a definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder. Napoleon Hill. Fernando realized he drove 14 hours a day, but didn't know where he was going in life. He applied the crystal target technique, wrote exactly where he wanted to be in 1 year. Not earn more money, but 5 cars working for me, earning 50,000 net per month. Carnegie told Hill, most people don't fail, they just shoot without aiming. When you define your goal with surgical precision, your brain activates the reticular activation system and starts seeing opportunities that were always there. Rule number 3, ruthless prioritization. Hill's 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. Organize to do only what matters. Napoleon Hill. This rule alone can 10x your life. Fernando analyzed his rides and found 80% of profit was coming from 20% of times and locations. He completely reorganized his routine, worked fewer hours, earned more money. Elon Musk uses this rule. I organize my day in 5-minute blocks. If something doesn't contribute to my main goals, it doesn't enter the agenda. Rule number 4, obsessive systematization. Success is a system, not an event. Napoleon Hill. Fernando created systems for everything. System for saving fuel, system for choosing rides, system for reinvesting profit. I transformed every aspect of my work into a replicable process. In 60 days, he had saved enough for the down payment on a second car, hired a second driver, applied the same system, profit doubled. Rule number 5, radical elimination. Organize your life by eliminating everything that doesn't contribute to your main purpose. Napoleon Hill. This rule is brutal. Fernando cut Netflix, recovered 3 hours per day, drinks with unproductive friends, toxic relationship that drained energy, disorganized eating that killed productivity. It was painful, but Napoleon Hill was right. You can't add success to a life full of garbage. You have to make space first. Marie Kondo became a billionaire with a diluted version of this rule, but Hill went further. It's not just about eliminating objects. It's about eliminating habits, people, thoughts, and commitments that don't serve your purpose. Rule number 6, time as investment. Organize your 24 hours like an investor organizes their portfolio. Napoleon Hill. Fernando created the Millionaire time spreadsheet. 6 hours strategic sleep. No more, no less. 2 hours personal development. Hill's audios while driving. 8 hours focused work. Only profitable hours and routes. 2 hours planning. And systems 3 hours family. Quality, not quantity. 3 hours empire building. Second business. When you organize time like money, time becomes money, Fernando discovered. Rule number 7. Environment as extension of mind. Show me your space, and I'll tell you your future. Napoleon Hill. After organizing mind and time, Fernando attacked the environment, but not as you think. He created the command environment. Spotless car, mobile office, minimalist home, 0 distractions, standardized clothing, decisions eliminated. Everything has an exact place, 0 time searching. Steve Jobs used the same rule, same outfit every day. Mark Zuckerberg, same principle. They understood what Hill taught. Environmental clutter is a vampire of mental energy. Rule number 8, relationships as assets or liabilities. Organize your social circle like a CEO organizes their board. Napoleon Hill. Fernando did something bold, listed all people in his life and categorized them. Assets, people who add, inspire, teach. Liabilities, people who drain, complain, limit. Neutral, people who don't affect. Then reorganized his social time, 80% with assets, 20% with neutrals, 0% with liabilities. I lost friends, I gained an empire. Jim Rohn confirmed Hill's rule. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Organize those 5 slots like your life depends on it, because it does. Rule number 9, money as organized soldiers. Every reel must have a specific mission, or it will be wasted in war. Napoleon Hill. Fernando created the financial army, 10% elite guard, untouchable emergency, 20% expansion soldiers, reinvestment, 30% basic infantry, fixed costs, 20% heavy artillery, aggressive investments, 20% logistic support, personal development. In 6 months, his army had conquered. 5 cars working, 1 own office, 12 drivers hired, monthly earnings of 200,000. When each reel has an organized function, they multiply like disciplined soldiers, Fernando understood. Rule number 10, the rule of continuous review. Organization without review is slow death. Napoleon Hill. This is the rule that separates temporarily successful people from permanently prosperous ones. Every Sunday, Fernando does a success autopsy. What worked? Amplify what failed. Eliminate what can improve. Optimize what's missing. Add. But here's the secret within the secret. Napoleon Hill taught that the review should follow the reverse order of the rules. You start by reviewing Rule 10 and go back to Rule 1. Why? Because success is built from inside out, but maintained from outside in. Now, the case that will blow your mind. Patricia, 43 years old, government employee from Recife, 15 years in the same position, same salary, same routine. I was the definition of a disorganized life. 65 kilos overweight, House in chaos, 120,000 in debt, failed marriage. Patricia applied the 10 rules in reverse order, Hill's advanced technique for extreme cases. Started with Rule 10, brutally. Reviewing every area of life. Then Rule 9, organizing debts as soldiers to be defeated one by one. In 30 days, 8 kilos gone, house organized. In 90 days, 25 kilos gone, debts renegotiated. In 180 days, 45 kilos gone, promotion at work. In 365 days, 65 kilos gone, side business earning 15,000 month, marriage rebuilt. The 10 rules didn't change my life. They gave me a new life, Patricia testifies. But pay attention, Napoleon Hill warned about the reverse domino effect. If you skip one rule or apply them out of order, the entire system collapses. It's like building a house starting with the roof. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, had an ancient version of these rules. Leonardo da Vinci organized his genius with similar principles. Benjamin Franklin created his 13 virtues based on the same concept. All understood. Organization isn't about having a pretty agenda. It's about architecting your life as a masterpiece. Emergency protocol of the 10 rules. Apply today. Morning rules. 1 to 3. 5 minutes mental cleaning, remove garbage from head. 5 minutes write your crystalline goal for today. 5 minutes identify the 3 80-20 actions of the day. Afternoon rules. 4 to 6. Create one new system for something you repeat. Eliminate one useless thing, object, habit, or commitment. Reorganize the next 24 hours like an investor night. Rules 7 to 9. Organize one area of your environment. Evaluate one relationship, asset or liability. Give specific mission to each reel spent today before sleep. Rule 10. Review the day. What worked, failed, can improve. Warren Buffett has been using a variation of these rules for 60 years. Result, 100 billion in assets. Organization is the only hack that really works, he says. But the most powerful example is Napoleon Hill himself. When young, he was a complete failure, disorganized, aimless, broken. He applied the 10 rules learned from Carnegie. Result? The most influential success writer of the 20th century, impacting billions of lives. Now the truth that few are ready to hear. Disorganization is a choice. Every time you say, "I don't have time to organize," you're choosing chaos. Every time you leave for tomorrow, you're voting for failure. The 10 rules aren't suggestions. They're the difference between living and merely existing. Carlos, entrepreneur from São Paulo, learned this the worst way. Had a company with 50 employees. Revenue, 2 million month. Life completely disorganized. I thought success was working 18 hours a day in chaos. Heart attack at 41 ICU. Doctor, either you organize your life or you won't have a life to organize. Carlos applied the 10 rules lying in the hospital bed. First, reorganized everything mentally. When he got out, applied rule by rule. Today, 3 years later, works 6 hours a day, company earns 8 million month, lost 35 kilos, saved marriage, travels 4 months a year. The 10 rules didn't save my company, they saved my life. Final exercise. Lethal diagnosis, do now. Take a sheet, divide into 10 lines. For each rule, score your current life, 0 to 10. Mental organization. Matter 2, clarity of objectives. 80-20 prioritization. Working systems. Elimination of unnecessary. Well-invested time. Organized environment. Strategic relationships and money with mission. Continuous review. Total, $100. Less than 30. Your life is the sinking Titanic. 30 does us 50. You're surviving, not living. 50 comes 70. Potential exists, but you're wasting it. 70 to 90. On the path, needs adjustments. 90 to 100. You're the 0.1% who truly live. The question isn't whether you'll organize your life. The question is, will you organize now by choice or later by consequence? Because disorganization charges compound interest. Each chaotic day multiplies the next. Napoleon Hill was clear, organization isn't an event. It's a lifestyle. The 10 rules aren't to be used. They're to be lived. Now you have 3 options. Ignore the 10 rules and continue in chaos. 99% do this. Apply some rules randomly, guaranteed. Of failure. Start with Rule 1 today and transform your existence. Remember, Fernando went from driver to fleet owner. Patricia went from bankrupt to prosperous. Carlos went from workaholic to free. All started exactly where you are now. The only difference? They organized. Napoleon Hill's final word, show me someone with a disorganized life, and I'll show you someone who was born for success, but chose failure. The 10 rules are the map. Only you can walk. Comment, I organize today, and start the transformation. Share with someone drowning in chaos. Subscribe to receive the mental code of billionaires on Sunday. But above all, choose one rule. Just one. Apply in the next 24 hours. Because organization, as Hill taught, isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Disorganization has killed more dreams than all crises combined. Don't let it kill yours. Organize or die trying. The choice has always been yours.